Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Obro Show. I'm your host today, Josh of the Obro Show. I'm joined by my colleague, esteemed and studious Dr. Seth.
Doctor is crazy. I don't have a
No,
doctor.
no, we can't say that. No,
Can't say that.
that might come into play depending on the subject matter that we're talking about here. But we're the Obro Show, and we are joined by our friend of the stream,
Good
friend of the stream, Isaiah Presley Lafone, who is setting the record for the quickest back-to-back interview we've ever done here on the Obro Show, Seth.
That's true.
We've never had like a introductory interview, have him right back on, but it was relevant, and we're very thankful that Isaiah took us up on the offer to join the stream because a lot went down in the past weeks that we since our last conversation with Isaiah. He went on this whole saga, I'd like to call it, the James White versus the Gen Z saga that happened on X.
Purging.
Yes.
He's trying to purge.
He's trying to purge the Gen Z. And we'll get to it. James White made responses to Redeem Zoomer and our guest, Isaiah Presley Lafone. And we're going to spend some time, react to it, give our thoughts and opinions, see where we land. We want to hear from Isaiah and see how he is feeling post-reaction to James White.
Mm-hmm.
And so without further ado, I'm going to bring him up, and then we'll just get into it and start covering kind of the sequence of events. Welcome to the stream, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the stream.
Well done.
Yes, thank you. Wonderful stashes, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a new era.
Yes, sir.
It's a summer stash. You know, you gotta join.
Sign of maturity.
Yeah. And we are reviewing. James White isn't it a goatee? It's just a thick white goatee. That's kind of what he's known for.
Yeah, it's just
And this white beard. Yeah. So we had to kind of mog with stashes today, which is good. Hey, Isaiah, how are you feeling after getting attacked online by James White?
You know, I'm actually feeling okay about it. You know, I actually want to personally thank James White at this moment because I have gained more subscribers and followers since he publicly attempted to humiliate me than before. So thank you, James White. I am much appreciative for you bringing me up on your podcast.
Yeah. They say all press is good press, so to speak.
And when James White's talking bad about you, it's very good press.
Yeah,
there you go.
I agree. Hey, Isaiah, just give me the rundown. How did all this break out and start? I have the relevant tweets from my end, but just give us a high level 30-second, hey, what's going on, what happened, and where you're at now.
Yeah, so basically what happened is James White gets mad at Redeem Zoomer, Richard Ackerman, for his statements regarding John MacArthur, where he says he hopes that MacArthur will be with us in heaven, but said Pope Francis is absolutely in heaven, a position which me and Richard would disagree on. Because of that statement, James White apparently saw it on X and felt it necessary to bring it up in his show, not only to bring it up, but to say, like, you know, who does this kid think he is? Like, who is this guy? You know, how many graduate classes have you taught, son? You know, how many doctorates do you have? Do you know the relevant languages? And so, you know, and basically throwing his opinion out the window, especially and the opinion of the reformers holding to high sacramentology, throwing that out the window because of his age. And so, you know, I made a response to it on X. Didn't expect it to go anywhere because it was a rather long, lengthy response, which I said, you know, basically, apparently, according to James White, you cannot hold these opinions or, you know, out your opinions or make these statements unless, you know, you have all of these degrees and you've taught graduate classes, which is interesting coming from James White, considering that his doctorate isn't a real doctorate. So I will not be calling him Dr. White for the for this interview. But anyway. So I said, according to James White, you can't have these opinions unless you've done this, this, and this. And James White, first of all, responded to me on X, in which he took issue to that. And the only real issue I think he mentions is that, oh, how could you say that I'm jealous? How do you know my intentions, bro? And my reaction, kind of to shorten it down, was just actions speak louder than words. You can say that you're not jealous, but by your actions, you show it. And then he decides to bring me up on his show. Yes, a 60-plus-year-old man decided to take 15 minutes out of his show to speak about an 18-year-old who he didn't like on X. And basically what happens is he mocks me, as you're going to see, mocking my appearance and how I present myself, and my age also. Bros certainly never read First Timothy. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I haven't really said much publicly after that. I've just let the subscribers and followers come in. So, like I said before, thank you, James Wyatt. You've been most helpful to me.
Yeah, the subscribers do the talking, I
There you
guess.
go.
Let them bring it in. I'm going to bring up the relevant first tweet that kind of sparked all of this.
Hold up, before we do that, what is James White's doctorate in?
I don't know.
James White has a doctorate from a seminary that is unaccredited and no longer exists. So his doctorate being unaccredited means that it doesn't hold any water in academic circles, and it wouldn't hold any water to me either. So,
well,
all right.
there we are.
Some good lore.
Yeah, that is some good lore.
Yeah.
So this is this isn't even technically Redeemed Zoomer's X post, and I did take umbrage with the John MacArthur post, the original John MacArthur post, which I think we're in agreement there. Isaiah,
yes,
thought it was in poor taste, and this was actually
it was in poor taste,
shared-
and it showed a lack of ability to read the room. You know, when someone's dying, I don't think that's the best statement to be making.
Yeah. And so this was compiled by another X user by the name of Truth Matters 20, or Danny, and put them side by side. Redeemed Zoomer, I pray for John MacArthur despite his theological problems. I truly hope that he will be with us in glory. And then this is stupid. Pope Francis was a Christian. If anyone was, he's in glory right now. So again, assurance regarding to Pope Francis, and then not so much in regards to MacArthur. And then James White. So enter James White. This fellow has some very basic, very deep, very troubling problems. That's where it all started, where it all began.
He patted himself on the back after tweeting that.
You think that was? He was like, "Yeah, that was really got him."
Smooth.
Yeah,
roasted him, boys. He's done. He's not coming back from that one.
Which then takes us to, if I can pull it up here, James White's response on his podcast. So Redeemed Zoomer, I think, had a shorter response to that original tweet. And then James White just said, I'm going to talk about it on Dividing Line. And that's where we're at now. So it was literally back to back. So, and we'll get into that. And I won't watch as much about this first clip because it's regarding Redeemed Zoomer, and I know he can defend himself like Redeemed Zoomer does. But I for relevant context, I want to make sure we get James White's at least full scope of opinion, so we can relevantly talk about it. So here's James White. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
This Redeemed Zoomer guy,
I can hear it.
Could I just ask a question? Why does anybody listen to him? What has he ever done? Where did he go to school? Oh, when did he graduate? What has he taught? What has he written? Does he know the biblical languages? What has he done in church? My understanding is he's like in some ultra leftist church, but I mean, I was talking to a dear friend.
So here's
clip that part, chat. Clip that part, chat, because later on he's going to in this next podcast he's going to say I didn't say that. So clip that. Either the old man is having memory lapses or we're purposely lying. But keep going.
I'm that's honestly the majority of James White's initial rebuttal is just saying, "Who is this guy,
bro? Who's this kid,
what
man?
has he done?
Why are y'all listening to this kid, not listening to me?"
Yeah.
Notice he doesn't know any of Redeemed Zoomer's accomplishments, like amassing a following of over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, but he still knows that he goes to a leftist church, whatever that means from James White's perspective. So he knows enough about him to bash him on his feed, but he doesn't know anything about him to give him credit for anything that he's done in the years since he's been in the theology space. So I find that a little bit inconsistent there. That doesn't really match very well with James White's opinion of who is this guy. It's like, well, you know some things.
And also, it's stupid just to bash somebody for going or being at a leftist church without knowing why they're there.
And again, Redeemed Zoomer is like at a conservative PCU.
Correct.
Relative to,
very
I mean,
conservative,
very
Correct.
conservative PCUSA church.
But even if it was a leftist church and he was intentionally trying to reform the church, that's no reason to necessarily bash him out of just that.
Yeah, without having any relevant information.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
So that was, again, just setting up context here as we build. So Zoomer responded to James White with a lengthy response where he details, hey, this is what I've done. You know, like, I'm married. This is what I've done. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I try to direct people to experts, stuff like that. It was actually credit to Zoomer. I thought this one was actually a great response. So I will bring it up just because he didn't, I think, stoop to where James White was potentially leading him into. So let me pull this one up, and then we'll get into James White getting into the USA, because you enter the fold right around here as well. So apparently, so this is Redeemed Zoomer response. Who is this Redeemed Zoomer guy? You know, why would I even listen to him? Redeemed Zoomer basically says, I don't know. Like you mentioned, he's not a pastor. He's directing people to pastors. Is he part of a super leftist church? No, like we said, he's not. He's part of a conservative PCUSA church in a, you know, more liberal denomination, but that's what they recognize. That's the whole part of Reconquista. What has he done? Not so much, because he's very young. He's 22, and he's recently married. But he started a nonprofit. He's obviously a host of a very popular YouTube channel. He's had debates with Keith Foskey. He's had debates with Gavin Ortlund. He's had debates with Joel Webbin. This is definitely a guy that is laying the groundwork for a solid career. So, Redeemed Zoomer's track record, I think, as a young 22-year-old man, I think stands on its own 2 feet. With all that being said, he does make X posts that trigger the type of people that James White runs around with. So that's understandable to that extent. Now, let me pull up, Isaiah, this is when you enter the fold. What made you... Why did you feel like you had to make this post, Isaiah?
Well, one, I saw my friend being attacked, you know, in a very uncharitable, unhealthy way by Mr. White. I thought, you know, I ought to say something. I don't think that he's going to respond or anyone's going to care, but I'm going to say something because this has larger implications, right? This is not just this doesn't have just implications for Redeemed Zoomer, but it has implications upon more Gen Z creators like myself. You know,
right?
Who are you for me to listen to? Why are people listening to you? What have you done? This has larger implications, so I felt the need to say something on it.
So enter yourself. You say, according to James White, you're not allowed to speak on historical and theological matters unless you've taught at the graduate level. This is the arrogance of the older generation that is outgoing. They demean and belittle the younger generation out of envy. Do you stand by that post, Isaiah?
Most certainly.
That's a hard-hitting post.
Yeah, I think that's what ultimately drew James White in, is that you are calling it out the perceived arrogance here, which is, it is. There's certainly in some of James White's response, you can get that tone coming across. You then go on to say, furthermore, who does this guy think he is? Which is quoting James White, which we also watched. You know, who is this Redeemed Zoomer guy? Is not fatherly or pastoral. He is jealous of the influence and reach that RZ has, and it shows. He is jealous of this new crop of guys coming up that are now superseding him. This is the natural course of life. However, men rise and fall. Dr. White has had his time, and now a new generation is coming up. But rather than attempting to counsel and mentor us, he'd rather tell us to shut up. Rather than rejoicing that there are young men who love theology and will be here when he's gone, he brutally mocks and belittles the future of the church. Isaiah, are you a prophet? Because it's almost like you called verbatim what James White ends up telling you in his clip on his Dividing Line podcast, which is shut up.
Yeah.
Despite my name, I am neither a prophet nor the son of a prophet. But I think it's just, people have basic, intuition, and my understanding of what he would probably say was there. I was actually sitting on my couch in the flat I was staying in on vacation in London, which was ended a couple days ago, which was a wonderful trip. But anyway, I was sitting there and I was thinking, knowing James White and who James White is, knowing his track record, I was trying to go ahead and get in front of some of his statements, right? The first statement is a really hard-hitting punch you in the mouth thing. And then the second one was to kind of clear up, and explain a little bit of what I'm talking about, right? The older generation should, in fact, be saying, oh, there's this new younger generation coming up. Fantastic. Now, let me mentor them and teach them the way that they should go, right? Instead of doing that, which I think that there are people who are doing that very, very well. But James White decided, instead of doing that what he was going to do was brutally mock these kids that are coming up after him because we disagree with him, because we have a larger influence than he does, and we're gaining more respect than he has. And I think there's a reason that Mr. White doesn't have as much respect as he feels he should, and that's just because of his own actions. So I was kind of going into, like, basically, deeper into what I was thinking with that. Look, instead of mentoring and being a father figure to any of us, he has chosen to ridicule and demean and mock us, which you are seeing a lot with some of these evangelical leaders who are going out.
Is there a reason why you threw in the generation distinction and not just Dr. White?
Yeah, there's a reason for that, and that's because although there are some men who are being very great mentors to us, the vast majority of them, specifically in the baby boomer generation of these evangelical leaders, are not, right? And I could go on and on about the baby boomer generation and what that generation, the problems that generation has caused us, but I won't do that today. But you are seeing a lot of the evangelical leaders from that kind of generation kind of cling on to their power for as long as humanly possible. And now they're getting to a point where they're getting to their old age, their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, where time itself and God himself almost is pushing them towards retirement or out the door. And I said in there in that tweet, such is the natural course of life, right? I'm on the rise now. Richard's on the rise now. Y'all are on the rise now, but there's going to be a time in which, yes, sir, get these men 100 subscribers. In fact, get them 100,000 subscribers.
Let's go.
But there will be a time when you and I and Richard and whoever else will be in our 60s, our 70s, and our 80s, if we make it that long, if the Lord wills we make it that long. And we'll be in the same process of heading out the door. And what is our reaction going to be to a young generation, which will most certainly be coming up at that time, right? Will we demean and belittle them, or will we, take the lesson from how we were treated and do unto them how we would have wanted the boomers to do unto us, right? So that's why I say in there, look, this is the natural course of life. It's going to happen to me as well. I'm expecting it to happen to me as well. There's going to be a time in which people are flocking to the new, flashy young theologian, and they don't want to hear what old Isaiah Lafone has to say anymore. So I don't say this out of disrespect. I say this because it's truth. It's what happens. And what James White is doing is very much resisting that. He wants to be on the top. He wants to be on top until he dies. Now, what happens when that happens? what happens when that happens is you leave a younger generation unprepared because you've spent so much time demeaning and belittling them and trying to destroy their influence and staying at the top your entire life, that when you die and you're gone, what the heck do? We have theologians who are unmentored, right? Who don't have spiritual father figures. I am blessed to have many in my life, but James White would rather take the option of shut up and sit down than, have young men coming, into theological debate. You can disagree with what me or Richard says, right? But your response to me or Richard or whoever's statements should not be, well, you're 22, or well, you're 18, or you're this, or you're that, so shut up and sit down, right? Because what that shows to me, and I asked James White later on in my response, I say, give me an argument. Give me a quote. Give me one single quote from the Protestant reformers which supports your position that not all of them believed that baptism saves or that the Lord's Supper was the body and blood of Christ. Give me one quote, because James White's a memorialist. So give me one quote, and instead of just this demeaning. And guess what? He didn't respond to that expose, and in his response on YouTube, as we're going to see, he doesn't address that. He doesn't give one quote. It's because he has no argument.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this a little bit prior, but the big factor here that changes this entire situation is social media, right? It is the balancing. It is completely tipped the scales in terms of who has access to influence and who has access to microphones. Some of that's for the better, some of that's for the worst. I'm sure that we all would agree with James White to some extent, where social media has given rather large platforms to people that are harming others with it. But again, if you're not having those in-depth, Joel Webbin would be one. Anyone in those camps would be dangerous camps with social media. But to not even have a conversation with a Redeemed Zoomer. So James White, who has had these debates, probably doesn't need a lot of time to preparing for something like that. If it's just a friendly conversation like, hey, why did you make this X post, Redeemed Zoomer? And in many ways, probably a lot of people would have been on James White's side, depending on how he handled that, because that tweet Redeemed Zoomer ended up deleting. It's not even something that he would stand on necessarily. So instead, he makes responses and then goes to his podcast and essentially does an ad hominem straw man,
poisoning the well
host. Yeah, poisoning the well, all host of logical fallacies and just argumentation that is just not convincing anyone. And so have Redeemed Zoomer on. He's got a huge platform. James White, you can access the younger audience that you're right now criticizing if you go talk to Redeemed Zoomer. I'm sure he'd be willing to do that. So, well, maybe not so as much now, but prior he would have for sure. So yeah, and we'll get into it too. And hey, reach out to Isaiah. Isaiah's going to debate you.
We'll host it.
I would debate James. In fact, I say this right now, James White, if you're watching this, which you probably are, because I don't know what better you have to do. If you're watching this right now, I am publicly calling you to debate me. Debate me, bro. Debate me on the sacramentology and the reformers.
There it is. All right. Let's before we
But Isaiah, what have you actually done?
Yeah, have you written anything?
Have you done anything?
Let's pull up true based. Before we get into James White's podcast response, Protestant Paladin said James White derided Reconquista by comparing it to giving chemo to a person with stage 4 cancer. Way to paint us as the good guys. Which, is that we shouldn't be giving chemo? Yeah, we shouldn't be giving chemo to people with stage 4 cancer.
Bro, if I've got a stage 4 cancer patient, let him die, honestly. Low key. Just let him die. What's human life?
Just pump that one.
Yeah. RZ is my father.
Oh, really? That's very interesting, Lawson.
Jesse from Breaking Bad voice, Mr. White.
Mr. White.
We're gonna get into Mr. White. Okay. Let me pull it up here. Oh wait, never mind. That was his X post. Let me first pull up his ex response to you, Isaiah, and then we'll go to
Oh.
his podcast.
Ah, indeed.
All right. I always love his choice of language and like his tone. Excuse me, Isaiah.
Excuse me, sir. Why you
Yeah.
say such rude things to me?
Yeah.
Like he's just bumping into you in a bar.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. All right. He says, excuse me, Isaiah, but how do you know my heart and soul and motivations so well? RZ makes broad, blanket claims and has no basis for making them. Is asking for that basis wrong? I can assure you, I am not jealous of RZ. I love seeing I keep saying that. I love seeing young men, I love seeing young men coming up who are solid. I do not love seeing young men coming up who have accomplished nothing and yet act like the world owes them a hearing and a standing. Your posts have borne false witness concerning me. You may wish to rethink your position. Were you destroyed by facts and logic, Isaiah?
Wow. It's Jover, bro. It's Jover. You see my response down there? I love that response right there. It's like, give me a quote where RZ is wrong. Give me a quote. You say, let's say, you can say what you want, but other statements have made you say have made me say otherwise. I typoed there. Also, the point about Richard owes him a hearing. That's what's false witness. No, none of us have ever said that the world owes us a hearing. Right? We work really hard on our content. We write these scripts. We write these things. I'm writing a book right now. Richard's writing a book right now. We do these things. We do the hard work so that we can earn a hearing. We don't act like the world owes us anything because we understand that the world doesn't owe us anything. Yeah, just I don't care how many doctorates you have. But you're a man that can err. Yes, indeed, he is a man that can err. I can have a PhD in absolutely everything in existence. I can be the smartest man alive. I can even be I could even be half of the greatness of Saint Al Mohler, and I can still make mistakes and still.
You can't say that. That's heresy.
That's true. That's true. That's true. See, I said half of what Saint Mohler is. Saint Mohler can't err,
That's fair.
but half of
That's true.
Yeah, no, the broad appeal to credentialism on behalf of James White. I'm going to guess and assume that he is not consistent with that. I highly doubt that across his religious and political opinions, he has a real high care for credentialed individuals.
Look, everyone who appeals to credentialism is not consistent with it. And I discovered that this week. I had a man come into my DM saying that James White was right about everything. He's right about everything he said about you, son. And that I took myself too seriously. Ooh. And I said, okay, would you say the same thing about RZ? And he said, no, man, RZ's in a completely different league than you. It's not even a valid comparison. It's like, aha, see, it's never consistent. It's never consistent, bro. Which there's a place for credentialism.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. Well, there's a place for credentialism, but my thing is if you're going to appeal to that to absolutely everything, and you're just going to become inconsistent. Like James White, doesn't even have a real doctorate, bro. Doesn't even have a real doctorate. James White went after Dr. David Wood in a couple years ago. So I suppose I'm in a great company of men. RZ, David Wood, and me. This is great, guys. So he comes after Dr. David Wood, but by his own logic and credentialism, he has no basis to come after David Wood because David Wood has a real doctorate. Okay. How many real doctorates do you have, James? Exactly. How much work have you done with Muslims? Exactly.
All right. On to the podcast. James White takes to the dividing line.
Yes.
Where he then addresses Isaiah Presley Lafon.
Lafon. Yeah, Lafon.
Isaiah Presley Lafon. All right. Let's get into here. Dr. James White.
I mentioned redeemed Zoomer. And
Indeed, you did.
I said, at the time, I was like, why is anybody listening to this guy? What has he done? I mean, my assumption is if you're going to give time to someone, then that person has earned the right to be heard.
The irony here is James White is giving the time on his podcast. I know we've covered this, but it's ironic.
Exactly.
Like, why is anyone listening to this guy?
Yeah, exactly. You know, why are you paying attention to him? By the way, let me give like 15 to 20 minute refutation of this guy.
Yeah. And back to back, like 2 separate days back to back.
Back episodes, yeah.
Yeah, dude, talk about
He's a little
RZ.
obsessive.
Yeah. But hey,
Yeah.
who would gratify this guy with a response? Who would do that?
There's been some type of consistency over time. There's been some type of accomplishment in life. And I was honestly going,
I graduated high school, bro.
That's also just like not true though. Like his point here is just like dumb in of itself, because like the people that get the most time now are not professors or those with credentials. It's just like
It's people that are good at rhetoric, good
Correct.
at speaking to an
yeah,
audience.
it's
not
just
even
influencers. It's just how good you can convince
Charismatic.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not even like you can be super nerdy and have 20,000 books that you've written.
Yeah.
If you can't argue that in real time and
Right.
convince people, nobody cares.
But it would be a different thing, and it would be a different thing if Redeem Zoomer wrote a book refuting James White.
yeah,
And James White was like, "What is this book?" You know, not to say Redeem Zoomer can't do that, but Redeem Zoomer is very much in his element on social media.
correct.
It's not James White's element.
No.
It's not his field.
Yeah.
He's if he's a
Because
purported
he's about to call a
academic,
profile page an ID
Yeah.
page.
Yeah,
yeah. So obviously he's out of his element here.
it's like a basketball reporter telling an NBA player, like, "Why are you playing basketball?"
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
done. He seems like a kid, and he's in a PCUSA church. And you know, God bless the 12 conservative PCUSA conservative people left.
Slander.
But man, it was 2001.
Only 12. Okay.
Only 12. When
you gotta
there's
count them up.
hold on.
You gotta count
I'm
'em
pretty
up.
sure that the number's 2000, which makes our conservative contingent in the PCUSA larger than the PCA itself. So, but you know, anyway.
When I debated Barry Lynn on homosexuality in a conservative PCUSA church, I think even that church has left since then. You know, there comes a point where it's
He's using a lot of weighty language as well. He's not defining at all what he means by left. If
No.
that's like theologically or politically or socially or whatever. He's just using these huge words. Like he tried to dunk on RZ for using like blanket statements.
Yeah.
And he's just making blanket statements.
Yeah. You go to a left-wing church.
It's like, okay.
Ah,
Yes.
you've been cooked, my friend.
Redeem Zoomer is making blanket statements about the reformers, and then meanwhile, James White is making blanket statements about the entire PCUSA that there's only 12 conservative people in it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you can only do CPR for so many decades, you know. Then after that, it's a little bit of a waste.
Well, you should, all right, pause that, because
So
the point
dumb.
is that nobody really has
So dumb.
attempted to do CPR. All that
They
the
all
conservative
left.
conservative Presbyterians have, they all left. They ran away. They looked at the body dying on the ground, choking, and they said, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hit the road, bruh."
Just the cackle just got me there.
Of time, actually, after about 10 minutes. But anyway, so I ask these questions because he makes these grandiose claims. Maybe
And
he
you
doesn't
don't.
realize he is.
No grandiose claims.
He doesn't
here.
realize
Okay.
it, bro. He doesn't realize it, bro. You know, he just doesn't realize it, man. He's
But
not
he'll
smart
say,
enough.
the reformers believe this. And I sit back and I go, you know, we can make general statements, but we should realize anyone who actually teaches church history And there's a big difference between pretending to teach something on the internet and grading papers on it.
First up, James White didn't do this. In his ex post in response, we pulled it up to Redeem Zoomer. He just said, "Who is this guy?" He didn't say he's wrong. Look at this reformer who disagrees with what Redeem Zoomer is saying. He didn't do that. He made a grandiose claim and said Redeem Zoomer's wrong because nobody knows who he is.
Exactly.
Am I missing something?
Yeah, it's stupid too because more people know about Redeem Zoomer than they do James White now. So
Yeah.
James White is a fundamentally unserious person. He's a fundamentally unserious person. Because if he was a serious academic, like he presents himself to be a serious academic, ooh, yes, he would respond with, look at this quote I found in such and such page of such and such book by such and such reformer that refutes your statement. But you see, he'll never come back with that because he's wrong. And Redeem Zoomer has cited multiple things: the Scots Confession, Augsburg Confession. I mean, just read Augsburg or Scots or Westminster or 1689 London Baptist. Read Heidelberg. Read any of these confessions on the sacraments. Read it and weep, bro. You don't have an argument.
That's when you really find out. Okay, when you got to grade papers, you got to write finals, final examinations, and stuff like that. That's when you.
Bro, if
you
I
gotta
don't grade
have your
papers,
facts
I
straight,
can't figure out what they're talking about, bro.
If you don't grade
If I
a
don't grade
paper,
papers,
if
man,
you
I can't
don't see if you don't see what other young people are saying on their papers, do you know what really is happening?
Exactly. Right.
And I've been teaching church history on and off since 1990. So got a few years under the belt here. And so I'll hear this kid saying the reformers, and I'm like, you do realize there was different perspectives amongst the reformers on this. And
yeah, hold on, pause here. First of all, he doesn't provide a single example. Secondly, yeah, there was different perspectives. Let me mention them. Luther believed in a physical presence, and Calvin believed in a presence but spiritual. Okay, that's pretty much your variation. Even if you want to say, the Baptist, 1689. 1689 literally repeats the same thing that Westminster says regarding the sacrament, which is that we feast on Christ in the sacrament, that baptism is efficacious. Right, it's the same exact thing. Right, maybe you have a different way of formulating it, or maybe there's variations in the nooks and crannies of regarding your sacramentology and your theology regarding baptism or the Lord's Supper. But they're very high on their sacramentology. Not one of them is a memorialist. Okay, keep going.
What's the context you're placing it? There's just so much more to it than these grandiose, and he just dismisses, there's no such thing as Reformed Baptists and all the rest of this stuff. And it's just so surface level.
Well, because they're not, bro.
It's immature. And so I'm just asking the question, why is anybody listening?
Were you going to say something like that? Sorry.
I just said, who's being immature again? I mean, honestly, who's being immature? You look at Redeem Zoomer's response and reaction to this whole situation, and then you look at James White. And if I didn't know that James White was some 60-year-old dude who's had years in the business, I would think he's the kid in this whole situation. He's the one that's acting like a child. But anyway.
He looks like a little baby boy.
He responded, and he said, number one, who is this Redeem Zoomer guy? Why does anyone listen to him? Nobody has to listen to me. You're the one who mentioned me. I've always made it very clear that I'm not a pastor, and my YouTube videos are just meant to be a gateway drug to get people into real churches listening to real pastors. Well, that's interesting. Does that include the PCUSA? Isn't he part of a super leftist church? Well, I didn't say that, but I said PCUSA. No, I'm in the PCUSA.
I think
you did though. You did though.
He said it verbatim.
Say that. Yeah, he just lied. He verbatim said he's in a leftist church.
I didn't really say that.
Grandpa didn't take his Prevagen this morning. Give him a break.
Say my congregation's pastor is a faithful conservative old man who rejects the LGBTQ nonsense infecting our denomination and is permitted to do so. That's great, but you've got to understand that denomination is pushing the LGBTQ agenda. And so, do you guys have anything similar to a cooperative program? Does anything you give to your church go to that? Can you, as a member of a PCUSA church, stand firmly against the LGBTQ agenda?
These would be great questions for James White to ask Redeem Zoomer in an actual dialogue. You know,
in an actual serious way.
Yeah, in an actual serious conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Gavin
And I know
Ortland hasn't had a 2-hour debate with Redeem Zoomer on the same subject. It's not like that, like he's unwilling to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also, too, I know what he's about to say. Can you actually say you're fighting against liberalism when you're giving money to your church who gives it to the PCUSA or whatever? Look, okay, James White, we've all looked at what USAID was doing with our tax dollars. Can you actually say that you're against LGBTQ nonsense when you're giving money to a government who's supporting queer pageants in Jamaica? Okay,
True.
so the same logic could just turn around right on him, which is, oh, can you really say when you're giving your money to this? Oh, well, you're giving money to the United States government, aren't you? Unless you're doing tax evasion, and which you should probably go to prison for that. But I assume you're not committing tax evasion, and therefore you're giving your money to queer pageants in Jamaica, and I don't know, freaking homosexual balls in Peru. So I mean,
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood. I mean, we've been funding abortions. You've been funding the murder of children. Like, how dare you? How can you really say that you're pro-life if you're continuing to fund Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, the guilt. So all that's to say, the guilt by association argument here doesn't work if he's not referencing anything that Redeem Zoomer is saying.
If he were to be consistent, he should be a terrorist.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my understanding is, and I'm sorry, I don't listen to the guy. But
okay, there it is. I don't listen to the guy. I don't listen to the guy. I've never watched a single video. However, I can authoritatively tell you that this is a bad guy. This is a bad hombre.
Photo?
This guy.
I'm sorry, Isaiah. I'm just laughing at the pause. The pause is perfect,
dude.
That's a thumbnail right there.
We've got a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
thumbnail.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm making a video with the guy Father James, barely Protestant, on X. I'm making a video with him on James White and other people's response to Matthew Barrett becoming Anglican, and that's going to be the image that I use for the thumbnail right there. It's just going to be that image, that beautiful man.
You need that.
Where he's saying, how dare you people abandon these historic churches? Well, if they go apostate, they need to be abandoned. It's like saying, how dare you abandon the historic Israelite nation when they throw Jeremiah in a pit? I don't know.
So again, James White needs to move. He needs to go to New Zealand today because he's a United States citizen. He's plagued by the liberalism, and he's culpable even because he's guilty. He's funding it through his tax dollars.
Also, he said,
I said, what is
that's like saying, he said, that's like saying, why did you abandon Israel when they threw Jeremiah in the pit? That's one, you're not making a point. You're actually proving my point because no one left Israel when it went apostate. When they started worshiping the idols of Baal, nobody left Israel, proving my point. So thank you again, James White. You're really doing us.
Yeah, like God redeemed Israel multiple times. Is he saying that God was wrong to do so? He was stupid to do so?
No, you should have schismed off and created like the Southern Judea temple organization, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, you should have schismed off.
The Raelites.
Yeah. The United States of Judea America.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Not much since I'm 22. He's 6 years older than my oldest granddaughter. And just recently married. At least you got married at 22.
Pause that. That's so crazy. He just like sarcastically clapped for marriage. Are we like hated? Are we dunking on young marriage now, James?
No, we've just entered hater territory. We're just hating now, bro.
What are we doing?
That's a fun. I'm gonna start doing that though. I'm gonna be like, someone says anything like something that everyone should agree is like, oh, that's exciting. Like James White someday he's like, hey, I'm retiring, and I'm just like,
you're retiring?
Yeah. Such a,
Oh, you're
it's such a
retiring?
passive
Oh,
aggressive.
what a
Yeah.
career! Oh,
Good job.
Get credit on that one. At least you didn't wait till you were 32. Give you credit on that one.
why?
But I
Why
started
is that a comment,
to
bro?
fight
What?
liberalism.
Why? Do you want him to? I don't understand. I would have
Hey, dude, wait till
expected
you're
that from
32,
someone
kid.
like you. Yeah.
The
Sorry,
PCUSA.
can we be gay just 'cause it's PCUSA?
Yeah.
Okay, that's sort of like introducing chemotherapy into a person who has stage 4 every cancer known.
Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. James White wants people to die. James White wants to kill people. James White is in favor of letting people with stage 4 cancer die. Everyone quote this, clip this right now. I'm going to blast this all over X. Now, James White is in favor of letting people with stage 4 cancer just die in a pit. All right. James White, you are finished. Your career is over. Your career in academia is over. You are in favor of killing people with stage 4 cancer. It's Jover for you, bro. It's Jover.
Redeem Zimmer's a hero. He's saving people with cancer. God bless him.
With cancer.
James White would rather
God.
James White would rather have the doctor just tell you that you're cooked.
Yeah.
Just sorry, bro.
The
You're
the doctor just walk in with his pad and be like, I'm gonna lie, bro. You're kind of cooked, bro. Low key, you're cooked, bro. And then the doctor just
You have
puts in
every
his AirPod
cancer,
and just walks out.
Yeah, bro.
We're not gonna waste the money on you.
Yeah.
Save the bills.
Yeah, low key. I ain't getting paid enough to do this, bro. Low key. That's James White as a nurse, by the way. James White as a doctor.
We got a lot of
That's
healthy people over that other hospital. I'm gonna go over there.
help those people that
Yeah,
got a chance.
Yeah.
Even though it was just funny because Jesus says literally in Luke, those who are well do not need a doctor. It's those who are sick who need the doctor. Right. So that actually Jesus's words, in fact, work against him because he's saying, oh, this patient's so sick, I shouldn't save them. Where Jesus's attitude, the attitude of Christ would be, oh, these people are so sick. They're so weak. They're so ill. They're close to death. Let's go save them because Christ can bring the dead back to life. Right. But James White's like, nah, let him die. I say, let it die.
Let it die. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, honestly, seriously, guy. I've never agreed with James White on certain things, like whether Catholics are Christian. Well, that's interesting. But I've always respected his work debating Muslims and defending the New Testament. Well, that's great. Everybody can find something. So I'm just simply asking the question.
All right. Hold on. Pause.
Authority.
Pause. All right. He said something nice about you. Now let's say something nice about him. We're all sitting around in a circle, bro. Say something nice about him. No, please.
All he's saying, guys, is why does anyone listen to him? If you guys have been listening for the past couple of minutes all he said was, why is anyone listening to him? Did we hear that? He didn't say that you should let the cancer patient die. He just said, why does anyone listen to him?
That's it.
To the church history conclusions of a 22-year-old. What books has he written with? Does he know the biblical language? So those are
Bro, he's writing a book
They're
right
not
now, bro.
unfair.
Let him cook. He's writing right now.
Give him some time.
James White just wants him to pump it out with AI.
Yeah.
Just chat GPT.
Charles Spurgeon
ChatGPT
was
at Grok. Grok, write me a book.
At Mecca Hitler.
Yeah, write me a Reconquista book, Grok. Someone has to do that now. Someone needs to ask Grok for a whole book.
I will do that after this interview.
You definitely have to.
That could
At
be your
Grok,
first
write me a
book, and you
write
can
me a
you can send
Reconquista
it to
propaganda.
James White personally.
Yeah.
You can just let James White know
Exactly.
that you have a book now.
Start selling it on Amazon. That's easy to list. Yeah. Be perfect. I was gonna say Charles Spurgeon was 17 years old when he started pastoring.
Mhm.
Okay, so and Reformed Baptists, like, it's really hard. And I'm not claiming that Redeemed Zoomer is on the same par as a Charles Spurgeon, but like, you can't just, especially if James White doesn't know who he is. He's not engaging with anything that RZ has said. And so how are you going to just wholesale reject a man over his age? You would have to do the same thing with Spurgeon. And many people in Spurgeon's day did.
Yeah. And then
That's a good one.
Yeah, this
that's a base.
this one goes
That's
hard.
good.
Protestant Paladin said, James White would ask Jesus, who are you, a Galilean? What books have you written? Do you know the biblical languages? What sort of rabbi are you? Yeah, it's
this is so true, though, bro.
yeah, bro.
Paladin, bro, you
Like the
cooked with that one.
Pharisees were asking those type of
That was
questions.
good.
That's a good pull.
That was good.
Hey, they were like, bro, you're not even 30 years old. You're not even 50 years old, bro. What have you done?
Yeah.
How could you leave this side?
Dude, you're like, what, a carpenter?
What chairs
Yeah.
have you made?
Yeah, what seminary you graduated from?
Did you study under Gamaliel? But you didn't.
Yeah. Are you grading papers? Oh, wait, not that one.
You grading paper?
Yeah, are you grading papers?
No,
students?
but I'm drinking from a boys' college cup. That's good enough, bro.
There it is. He's getting there.
The aura.
And so what's weird is
Here we go, boys.
This is what's
guy-
weird.
And this is what I'm just sitting here going, what is going on to the younger generation? A
It's
guy
actually what's
named
going on with the younger
Isaiah
generation. That's not proper English.
Presley Lafone.
Lafont!
Presley
Ah!
Lafont.
Monsieur Lafont! Well, you'll forget. Monsieur! All right, everyone must now refer to me as Monsieur Lafont from now on. You are no longer allowed to call me Isaiah or Lafont. It's Lafont, Monsieur.
I'm getting great thumbnails. Look at this photo, too. Look how mad he looks.
He does.
Isaiah Presley Lafont.
He looks pissed off at us that we actually
Lafont!
Isaiah Presley Lafone responded to what I said about Redeemed Zoomer. And he says, according to James White, you're not allowed to speak on historical and theological matters unless you've taught at the graduate level. Of course, I've never said that. I asked, has he taught? What has he taught? Where? Those are
You're insinuating.
Yeah, what
Say
is
that,
that?
I just
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
him.
I guess you didn't literally say it, I guess, but like, what is the point of you asking
Oh,
that?
guys, he's just asking questions. Guys,
He's just asking questions.
no, he's just asking questions. That's all he's doing. He's just asking questions.
Just asking questions, bro. I'm just asking.
Stupid. It's the Candace Owens debate tactic.
Yeah.
perfectly. If you're going to make grandiose historical claims that go against what I know about church history, then I'd like to know.
Then you
What
haven't read the
foundation?
Reformers. If this goes, if this goes against what you understand of church history, then you have never taken the time to read any of the Reformers. Bro has not read Luther. He has not read Calvin. He has not read Knox. He has not read Bullinger. He has not read Peter Martyr Vermiglia. He's not read any of them. If this goes against what your understanding of church history is, then you need to go back to school. Okay, just read a book, bro. Honestly, goodness gracious.
And it's not like James White is the arbiter of truth.
No.
He wasn't talking to James White.
No. And he's not like he's not even describing what his sense of the Reformers is. He just keeps like vaguely talking about it, like it's like in the
Bro's vague posting.
yeah, it's like in the corner of the room scaring
Yeah.
him, staring him down or something like that. He's like, yeah, but you don't know about that.
What is your
It's
position?
like, what is that?
Yeah, tell us at least. Let us learn from you, James White. You are the arbiter of truth.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning.
Exactly.
I should give to your statements are. This is the arrogance of the older generation that is outgoing.
Yep.
They demean
Yes.
and belittle the younger generation out of
Base.
envy.
The
Oh,
base.
envious of redeemed someone. Furthermore, who does
Yes,
this guy
you are
think he
indeed, sir.
is not fatherly or pastoral. He is jealous of the influence and reach that RZ has, and it shows. He is jealous of this new crop of guys coming up that are superseding him. This is the natural course of life. However, men rise and men fall. Dr. White has had his time, and now a new generation is coming up. But rather than attempting to counsel and mentor us, he'd rather tell us to shut up. Rather than rejoicing that there are young men who love theology and will be here when he's gone, he brutally mocks and belittles the future of the church. Now,
Just know again, for the sake of the audience, okay? We read Isaiah's X post. James White just did. Isaiah made the point. James White just wants young people to shut up. Let's see how James White, actually ends up responding to Isaiah. Let's see how he responds.
Isaiah Presley LaFone doesn't have a clue what I do. And
Monsieur
there are
LaFone to
young
you.
men right now listening to this who would like to get hold of Isaiah Presley LaFone and go, hey,
Oh
bud,
no!
you know what you're talking about.
James White is such an audience and reach, Isaiah. Have you had any young men reach out to you and get a hold of you and tell you, hey, this is what's going on with James White? Have they done that?
I have not had one single DM from any young man telling me, look, man, this is what James White's doing. Look what he's doing for me in my life. I've had a single young man say anything to me. The only response I've had is one negative response from some rando dude on the internet, okay, who has no relation to James White at all. At all. So I have not had one single young man come to me and say, hey, bud, you know what you're talking about. You don't know what he does for me. Not a single one. So what that would lead me to believe is that James White right here and at this time is lying. He's greatly exaggerating. At the very least, he's greatly exaggerating. Oh, I've got all these young men. Yeah, they would tell you. They get a hold of you. Sorry, tell you. You know, you're all I'm doing for them. I hadn't had a single one. I hadn't had a single one. What I have had is more subscribers and more followers and more attention, positive attention. But I haven't had a single one come and tell me that I was doing something wrong.
Does encourage the next generation to be consistent.
We are
Not
consistent.
to make grandiose claims they can't back up.
Again, bro, debunk the claim. Debunk the claim. Then, if it's a grandiose claim that we can't back up, even though we cite all these different sources, then debunk it. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. Dr. White, teaching church history on and off since 1990. You're what, 67, 66, 65? Debunk it. We're just some stupid little kids. Debunk it. If it's that easy. Come on. I'm still waiting. One quote. I asked this man for one quote. One quote.
He like really wants to have his cake and eat it too, because he's like, hey, these arguments RZ and Isaiah are making are really stupid and dumb and easy to refute, but also you shouldn't talk to them because they don't have any credentials, and also why is anyone paying any attention to them? What are you telling your audience to do, James White? Either give us an argument, refute the arguments. If you think they're dumb, it should be easy to refute, or don't pay them any mind by giving them airtime 2 days in a row in your podcast.
Yeah,
really
15 to 20 minutes he goes on about it. He's going to go on
do exactly what you said he should be doing. But what's fascinating to me,
Isaiah Presley LaFont.
He does really like Isaiah Presley LaFont. That's what I said to on X earlier this week. I said, okay, you can say my full name maybe twice and maybe a third time later on, but like, call me LaFont. Don't call me Isaiah, because I wouldn't like James White taking my first name and and using it. We're not on first name basis, but call me LaFont. In fact, since it's LaFont, call me Monsieur LaFont. Do that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Call me Monsieur LaFont. Stop using all three names.
Is I went to Isaiah Presley LaFont's
oh my gosh
ID page.
His ID page.
And he is a youngin'. He's a kid. And here's this fancy picture of him.
Ah, yes.
Books behind him. And it's
hold on. Can we pull? Hold on. Pause. Can we pull up? I'm gonna pull up this image for the people here. We're gonna pull up my grandiose image for the people. All right, we're gonna pull this up right now. All right. Here it is. Oh, you gotta let me present it. Here we go.
There it is.
Look at this grandiose picture. Okay, so I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to make any real arguments. But hold up 1 second and let me make fun of your picture. Let me make fun of your. Look at this guy. How dare he? Look at this guy. He's got books behind him. Oh man, he really thinks a lot of himself. Like, bro, go with the argument. Stop attacking my image. Look, I know I'm hot, but like, you don't have to talk about how I look, bro. You don't have to be jealous, bro. It's okay. It's okay. I know I'm a smoking hot person, but anyway.
Yeah. I don't even know.
That's the question to ask James White. Why do you keep talking about how Isaiah looks?
Yeah.
Why do you keep
We're just
talking about how I
asking.
look, bro?
We're just asking.
Are you gay? Are you gay?
Just asking.
He's 65 and he's like, hey,
Just
hey, look at this.
asking.
Look at this guy who's just 18 and look how beautiful he is.
Look how beautiful he looks. Oh my, look at this picture.
It's another good freeze frame.
He's made a little special thing with his name with an L and an F, and I don't know.
Okay, pause that again. I've got to say something about that.
What is he talking? Wait, yeah. What is he talking about here? Is that like your name tag thing on X?
No, I will show you what he's referring to. We're gonna pull it up right here. We're gonna pull it up. This is all right. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, let me get it.
It's a logo. All right. Yeah, let's pull it up right. All right. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to tell me something. Where's the F? It's an L and an F. First of all, it would make no sense for me to have an L and an F. Where's the F, bro? This is an I. Okay. So since we don't know what letters are, let's talk about it. All right. So this is an I. You can see because the two lines and the one line in the middle. And this is an L. See the whoop, and then okay, and then down there, that's MMVII. That is Roman numerals for 2007. See, I am a young, in fact. Okay, but there, see, there's no F. Oh, golly. So we went after my profile picture, and now we have nothing better to do but look at this grandiose logo. Golly, he's made it for himself.
He's just kind of complimenting you. He's like, man, look at all these books he has, and look at his logo and how
photo.
Yeah,
this cool logo.
This cool logo. It's so. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine?
I'm not jealous.
Just because you say something,
yeah.
James White, just because you say something in like a sarcastic voice does not mean you're proving anything to anybody. Man, look at this guy, James. Look at his coat. It looks like he's on a safari.
Yeah,
Look at that gold logo.
look, yeah. Look at the lights behind him. Golly, what do you think he is? Some kind of hippie? Goodness.
Yeah.
Look at the purple. Look at the purple watch band. Is he a little feminine? Like, what's going on here, guys?
Says apologist, historian, theologian.
Yep.
On the picture, apologist, historian, theologian, and then here's his own self-description. Okay, Christian.
It's a bio.
Apologist.
Yep.
Historian. Theologian. And then you sitting down. Boyce.
Yeah, I am actually
29. SBTS 30.
Oh, you're young.
I have found my weapon. That's it, bro. You're calling yourself an apologist.
In this moment, this is how we mog James White, okay?
That's great. How'd you make that?
Saint Moeller, pray for us. I told ChatGPT, I said, make me Al Moeller in the image of an Eastern Orthodox saint. And ChatGPT literally said to me, I got you, King. And make me this image. It's beautiful. It's absolutely cool.
I mean, yeah.
So what you say? Boys 29, SBTS 30. What you mad because you can't study under the Saint Al Moeller, the Pope of the Southern Baptist Convention? Are you mad, bro? Why are you mad, bro?
Saint Al Moeller.
No, he's just
Saint Al Moeller. Pray for
everybody at this point.
He is,
Saint
bro.
Al Moeller.
My hero.
Think that one through with me for a second. If I said Fuller 89, I'm saying I graduated from Fuller Theological Seminary in 1989, which I did.
Yeah, you
Or
would be saying that.
Grand Canyon College, 1985.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say Boyce 29,
Oh, you went to Grand Canyon? That's disgusting.
Boyce is a college.
Hey, that's my alma
Yeah, I was
mater.
gonna say.
Not just
My bad, bro. My bad. All jokes.
no. I mean, it doesn't.
You didn't.
I would
Didn't go to Boyce
I would
to study under
attest.
St. Molar.
I did not study under St. Molar, but hey, I would also attest in terms of theological backing and theological studies. Don't go to GCU. Okay.
College. It's the College of Southern Baptist Theological Seminary.
Indeed,
And it's
it is.
2025.
Good job.
So if
Yes.
you're Boyce 29, what are you? You're starting as a freshman this fall.
I am actually. I am.
You're starting as a freshman this fall.
Actually, I was at Reformation Bible College last year getting my certificate in theology. So, actually, I graduated in 17. When did you graduate? James White.
There it is.
Exactly. Get wrecked, bro.
I don't know how else to interpret this.
No
Your-
need.
James
There's
White,
no-
your math is stellar. We have a.
I'm shocked,
question
bro.
from
Honestly, you figured it out.
Yeah, we have a question from the audience for you, Isaiah. Isaiah,
Yeah. What's up, Ruben?
should I go to BYU?
I'll say this. All right. On the question of should you go to BYU, you honestly, if it was between BYU and throwing yourself off a cliff because an angel choked you because you couldn't read, you should throw yourself off a cliff. Honestly. Do not go to BYU. It's better that your body would die than your soul.
Oh,
Anyway.
we got a fan.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
so
Ruben.
much.
All
right.
right, Ruben, bro. Alhamdulillah.
Oh,
Only he's gonna get
He's
that.
what
Only
wrote it.
he's gonna get that.
Boyce 29.
I did
Now,
write it.
he's
That's true. I
either
can write.
over
Actually,
a century old
I can write.
and has been around for a long time, and I missed him.
Maybe I am a century
Or
old.
this is
Hey, hold on. Pause. Actually,
Yoda.
James White is completely right. I am a century old. I went to Boys College before it ever existed.
True.
you made it.
I made it, bro. Dude, I just
a
have
recent high school.
No age. Yeah, you're like,
bro.
yeah.
School graduate who
Class of
may
24,
may not
actually.
even be in his 20s or maybe just getting there. I started
18.
college at 19.
Whoa. Pause. You started college at 19. I was getting my certificate in theology from Reformation Bible College at 17. And I'm starting college at 18. Ooh. Why'd you start so late, James? Get wrecked, bro. You don't have the credentials. James, I can't even take you seriously, Mr. White, because you don't have the credentials. You didn't start college when you were 17. Sorry, bro. Get on out.
Maybe he's a 19-year-old guy
18.
who puts a picture of himself up, apologist, historian, theologian, and I'm going to get started on my bachelor's degree now. And I'm going to tell the guys that have been doing this for twice as long as I've been alive what their actual motivations
cool,
are.
bro.
They're actually jealous of us young guys.
Hold on. I thought he was going to make a different point there. With the guys. I'm going to tell people who's been doing this twice as much as I screenshotting that one too. Here we go. I'm going to tell these guys who've been doing this.
I'm not trying to. That's just James White's face.
I'm going to tell these people who've been doing this twice as long as I've been alive. And I thought he was going to be like what the reformer said, but no, he says what their motivations are. Look, son, Mr. White, I don't have to have an unaccredited doctorate and whatchamacallit to be able to understand that there is so much envy residing in that brain that it is completely crazy. Okay. It is driving you crazy. Look at your face, bro. Honestly. Is this the face of a sane man? Ask yourself that. Oh my goodness gracious.
Really? You know, I remember the first time I ever spoke to R.C. Sproul. And
Oh, Saint RC, pray for us, please.
some of us young guys, we caught him in the hallway. He was kind enough to stop and talk with us.
Oh, lucky.
We were talking about the evangelicals and Catholics together stuff that he and MacArthur.
Wait, James, wait. If you were young, why didn't you shut up? Why didn't you ask
Why did
RC
you speak
anything?
to him? Why did you speak to him? Gosh.
You should just let RC Sproul handle it, okay? You need to be asking him anything about evangelicals or Catholics.
Exactly.
Arthur and D. James Kennedy, they had done the big thing at Coral Ridge about all that, and I was already dealing with Roman Catholicism myself at that point, and I was much older than this kid was at this point.
Oh, so I'm getting it started.
We treated him with respect.
Yeah, he's like 21 or something. Yeah.
Even if I disagreed with something he had said, I would not have been so utterly arrogant as to have tried to take him on at that point in time. It doesn't.
Well, because you were in a hallway. It was not ideal for a debate.
It's in person. Like James White got into it on X, which is for sure. There's a great purpose to X, and it's great for networking. But it is also brain cancer in terms of public discussion and debate. It's not the best platform to host a multitude of ideas and go back and forth. What does James White expect when he questions, who is this RZ guy? And then he gets a rather substantive response from Isaiah. Yes, he says some things like, you're probably jealous or whatever, some things that you would want to respond to. But then I don't know. It's like, it's not the same thing as in confronting RC in a hallway.
Yeah, he's just walking by. He didn't do nothing.
He's just walking by and you just be like, so, infant baptism.
Yeah, it's like,
what did the reformers say, RC?
Doesn't mean that I believed everything that was said by everybody that came before me. But it's frightening when...
Oh, it's frightening.
Because if you read Proverbs tells you not to do this.
What, to talk to old
I'm sorry. Proverbs tells me not to rebuke people because they're older than me. Proverbs tells me not to call out error because the brother is older than me. Yeah, what is he on and can I have some? Honestly. See, this is where the arrogance comes in. The arrogance of, oh, I'm older than you and you're 1918, and I'm 60-something, and I have all these doctors, and I taught all these classes, so therefore, you cannot speak anything against me. I'm going to tell you what, I had someone in my life growing up who was how am I going to put this? Who was rather important in my life. And he acted the exact same way. Anytime I would bring any criticism against him, he would throw up the same thing. Well, I am an authority. You cannot speak to me. You cannot rebuke me or call out my error in any way. And anyone who tells you you can is putting ideas in your head and whatnot and stuff. So he would push aside any rebuke coming from me because he appealed to the authority. And that's exactly what he does right here. And that's exactly the type of thing that an insecure person like James White will do because he can't handle the criticism. He just can't handle it. He never has been able to handle criticism. And so he's very insecure. And so he pulls at this. Oh, Proverbs tells you not to do this, not to rebuke people who are older than you who step into error. You're supposed to just let them continue in it? Let them lie to people? Let them deceive people? If that's the case, then I am not allowed to criticize Joel Osteen. I am not allowed to criticize Kenneth Copeland. In fact, Kenneth Copeland is much older than James White. And I know that James White has said things against Kenneth Copeland. Therefore, James White, what are you doing? Proverbs tells you not to do this. How dare you speak against Kenneth Copeland? It doesn't matter that he's wrong or deceiving millions of people. He's older than you. Anyway.
That's the perceived arrogance on behalf of James White, is that he's already assuming that he is justified in his opinion and in the right. We don't we don't know, because James White has not provided any substantive refute
Right, he could
to any of the things that are being discussed. Yeah, he could give you one quote and then we'll talk about that, but he's not doing that. He's appealing to his own authority and his own position as an elder and not rebuking elders. But you have to rebuke error. And if you're younger, that's what we should encourage young Christians to do. And in fact, James White, my appeal to you, yes, if you are watching this, is these are the type of young men that we need in churches, especially liberal churches, so that they can rebuke error, which is coming out of seminaries. If the PCUSA is plagued by liberal seminaries that are sending people that don't hold to scriptural authority, you need people like Isaiah. You need people like RZ who are willing to say, you guys are wrong, despite what you learned in seminary. So you have to contend with the arguments, James White. You can't just say, hey, I've got this degree. Hey, I have this position of authority, therefore you can't say anything to me. You need these young men have this type of attitude for a reason. God's preparing them to I believe, get in a position to actually win some churches in the PCUSA denomination back to conservative evangelical Christianity. And that's a good thing. And they wouldn't be able to do that if they took the mindset that you were teaching them here, which is to submit to your authorities, whether you think they're wrong or not. Submit to your elders, whether you think they're in error or not. Yeah, follow blindly. That's how the PCUSA, that's how any denomination falls into liberalism. It creeps in and no one says anything. They're silent. And then when the going gets tough, they leave. So, what is this? What are you actually teaching us here?
Even in the source that he's like pointing to in Proverbs, he still doesn't directly quote it at all.
No.
Or give even like the chapter or the verse or anything like that. He's just like, the book of Proverbs.
Yeah.
I promise the book of Proverbs says this. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, the book of First Timothy. Yeah.
I'm old, so trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've been doing this off and on since 1990. So trust me, bro.
Young man, respect those who came before you. Keep your mouth shut.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
You say that, that's not what I'm saying. It's not, you said, hold on, he said what, like 5 minutes ago? That's not what I'm saying. And then right here now he's like, shut up. Stop talking. Don't say anything against me, bro. What a hypocrite. What a hypocrite.
And you were prophet, because that was in your original X post, which was saying James White, in his disposition, just wants young people to stay silent, to shut up. And then James White, in his response, says, shut your mouth.
I am curious if you called out Kenneth Copeland or somebody, if you would hold this same energy.
Yeah. If you call it Kenneth Copeland, James White, you need to actually keep your mouth shut, because he's an elder.
He's older than you.
That's not like that's never been the argument.
Game over, bro.
Yeah.
Learn wisdom. Wisdom is to know when to speak and not to speak.
Bro, on X, on X, a platform for public discussion and discourse. That's where you shut up.
Good photo.
That's where you shut up. Great photo too. Yeah. That's where you shut up on X.
But also, like, that wisdom doesn't, like, he's doing this stupid thing of, like, correlation and causation. You're not wise just because you're old. Even if they kind of correlate, the cause of wisdom is not age. There's a lot of really dumb, unwise old heads.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not saying necessarily James White is that, but again, give us an argument. Let us contend with what you're saying. Show us your expertise. We don't have anything to go off of, James White, in this response.
He's just
well, and
so how are we even supposed to glean from your expertise and wisdom, James White?
Yeah, no. Well, what I would say is, he said you got to respect the people who came before. Okay, look, I'm going to say this plainly right now. I respect James White in the sense of he's been doing what he's been doing for a long time. I respect James White and the effort that he's put into all this. I do not respect James White in the same way that I would respect R.C. Sproul, because R.C. Sproul was a kind man. R.C. Sproul would never speak to me in this way. Dr. Stephen J. Nichols, who's president of Reformation Bible College, I met him. Very kind man, very generous to me. Knew I had a YouTube channel, by the way. Knew of it. He never spoke to me in this way. Ever. And I could never dream of it. In fact, he signed my book. I have the book over there, his biography of R.C. Sproul. And he signed it for me there in the lobby there at RBC. So he would never. I have a different level of respect for him and for R.C. Sproul. And yeah, we joke about Saint Moeller. Yeah, Saint Moeller. Okay, but I have very high respect for Dr. Albert Mohler. And that's because of, yes, all he's done. By the way, he actually has a doctorate. He actually has a PhD. He's been doing this for years and years. He's been up until 1 a.m. probably, or 1, 2, 3 a.m. probably every night since 1993, being president of that seminary and that college. So I have and Dr. Mohler would most likely never speak to me in the way that Dr. White's speaking to me. So he complains about the arrogance on my part and the disrespect on my part. I did not say anything arrogant. I did not say, I was not disrespectful. I called it out. I called it like I saw it. And I called out his arrogance. See, what this is a lot of projection. It's disrespect coming from him and arrogance coming from him. And he's projecting that onto me because he needs a punching bag. And so, no, I don't have the same respect. I'm not going to have the same respect for James White. I've never had that level of respect for White that I've had for Sproul or Nichols or Moeller or Schreiner, also over there at SBTS, yes, St. Moeller, or even Dr. Richard Burnett over there at Theology Matters. I've never had the level of respect for James White that I have for those people because of his own attitude and his actions that he brings to these sorts of debates. Example, David Wood, when he criticized Dr. David Wood and attacked Dr. David Wood, he ripped in to David Wood and said he was being too mean to the Muslim and all this and that and this and that and whatever. And used pretty fiery rhetoric against Dr. David Wood. Now, I have my own criticisms of David Wood. I think David Wood sometimes goes too far. But when I criticize David Wood, I'm going to give a substantial, well thought out, well researched argument. In fact, I hope to meet him one day, and maybe I'll one day be able to present him with some of my, concerns. But what I'm not going to do is just blast him and just jump down his throat, attacking him. Right? These actions from Dr. White are childish, and which is why he's like, he's like, why won't y'all respect me? Why won't y'all respect me? This is essentially all this is, and it's because of his own actions. It's because of this. This is, dude, it's example number one of why people don't respect him the same way they respect other people in this field.
It just never crossed my mind to not only speak like this as he has spoken to me, but then call
which is
yourself
very which is very respectful and substantial. Really?
I mean, it's like, and we can't. I guarantee James White has had ex-posts where he's criticizing other pastors and saying that they're doing this in error. They're doing this with, like we said, Kenneth Copeland is doing this for selfish gain, which we should say he's correct in that he's doing that for selfish gain and greed. That's okay. But you have to refute it, James White.
Apologist.
Because he's older. He doesn't have to do anything because he's older.
A historian and a theologian, as you start college, there's something in the book of Proverbs that says.
Pause before he gets to this. Before he gets to this, because that's also great still. Before he gets to this next point in which I can debunk that point too. But this point, you say, call yourself an apologist, historian, theologian. Son, that's what I do. I do apologetics. I do Protestant apologetics. I do Christian apologetics. I got a video coming out soon, a defense of Exodus, which I have done. I have books over there that I have read. I have research on this computer. My computer won't shut up, telling me how done it is researching the Exodus, right? Researching all these topics. Right. So I do apologetics. Yes, I am by definition an apologist. Whether you think I'm a good one or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change what I am. A historian. Yeah, I'm a historian. I do church history videos as well. I've studied church history a lot. That's what I do. It's what I am. Maybe you don't think I'm a good one or you're not an academic one, but that's what I am. A theologian. You talk about R.C. Sproul. Everybody's a theologian. You talk to R.C. Sproul, which I think Sproul was right about. Sproul is right about. Saying no creed but Christ, no theology but Christ. That's a theological statement. Everyone's a theologian. Not everyone's a good theologian, but everyone's a theologian. And I make theology videos. This is what I do. Right? So you can mock this all you want, but it's the truth. It's what I do. It's what I do. There are other young people. I mean, Redeem Zoomer. He gave up on Protestant apologetics, and then he came back to it. He's an apologist. Redeem Zoomer does theology videos. He's a theologian. Redeem Zoomer does church history videos. He's a historian. Right? This is not too hard. This is not too hard, Mr. White.
And we've graduated college. I'm entering seminary. So like, are we by that nature more qualified to speak on these things than Isaiah? I don't know.
No, bro, because you don't have a PhD in whatchamacallit from whatchamacallit seminary in something USA. Okay. So because you don't have that, shut up, bro. Also, I'm 60 and you're like what, 20?
Yeah, based.
So let others.
And we said anyone who's bald can't talk.
Yeah. That is baseless and meaningless as these arguments that James White is saying. It's saying like, hey, you can't talk if you're bald, like, and then providing any argument. Like that's what we're running into. It's completely ad hominem.
Yeah.
Like missing it's not addressing anything.
Yeah.
Speak highly of you,
right.
Compliment you. You keep your mouth.
Pause this right here. Pause this right here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part I was waiting. I get to unveil my new website a little bit here. It's not fully ready, but we got some good stuff on here. So, yes, website. So let me present this now. Hold on a minute. Let me share the screen.
James White.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to share the screen because he says, let people say this thing about you. So if you could pull that up onto the screen here.
Yes, right here. Hang on. I got to stop sharing. There it is.
Right here. Welcome to Isaiah Presley the phone. I got to change this. So this is IsaiahLaphone.com. All right. So the testimonials. So testimonials. Let's see what people. So people have to say this about you. Remember that people have to say these things about you. So let's see what people are saying about Isaiah LaPhone. David Yancey, President of the Presbyterians of the Kingdom. Isaiah Presley LaPhone is a wealth of knowledge, but more than that, he's dedicated to the spread of the gospel through edifying articles, podcasts, rich for theological education, church history. There's outreach. Isaiah is bridging generational gaps for Christ. He is a must-follow for any Christian or anyone curious about what it means to follow Jesus. Redeem Zoomer, I gave up on Protestant apologetics because I suck at all debates. But if you want to follow a new Protestant apologist, so someone else has to call me that. Well, someone else is calling me that. Follow Isaiah Long.
With the ceiling fan.
My former last name. So it's not Isaiah Long. Yes, the ceiling fan, bro. Layman apologist. Also, he's also like hyping up a bit more on his streams as well. He's made some. Gabe, who wonderful man, love the guy. Made this website for me. Says Isaiah continually impresses me with his remarkable qualities. His boldness shines through, fearlessly tackling all challenges, while his dexterity allows him to adapt. Above all, Isaiah is passionate, drive to excel, and inspire, truly motivating. Okay, well maybe you'll say, oh, these are just some young people. You know what do they know? Jake Dale, pastor at First Church of Woodbury, Connecticut. This is an older man, a man in his 40s, 50s, I think. Much older man. Okay. Isaiah Lafone is the consummate Christian gentleman. I found his style while interviewing me to be surprisingly professional for someone of such a young age. Not only was he well prepared, but he can immediately put a guest at ease and knows how to get a completely straight. So I am the consummate Christian gentleman, according to Jake Dow. Trevor Miles, host of Down South Salvation Podcast, he's got some praise from me as well. Ignore this. This is the most perfect picture for Ray, by the way. Honestly,
That's a
honestly,
cursed
love that
picture.
guy.
That's insane.
He said, without a doubt, going to be impressive future pastor and Christian apologist. Strong Christian man that will never stop debunking the Christian heretics online and in person, and will always preach the true nature of the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Isaiah will tell you how it is, while also being an open person to talk to during debates and theological disagreements. So you got several testimonials, and there's also many more that people have said about me online. You could just kind of look me up on X, and that's all for that page. You can look me up on X, and you can see what people are saying about me. And so James White says, other people must say this about you. Oh, they are indeed. Mr. White. They are indeed.
He's got the receipts.
Mr. White.
Mr. White.
It means something when other people recognize it in you. It doesn't mean anything when you claim it for yourself, but you've not done anything.
The consummate Christian gentleman. Yeah. That's all I got.
I hope Redeemed Zoomer, you just got married. Congratulations. I hope you get 43 years like I have.
Why does that come off like he's trying to curse him?
I
Like, yeah, I really
know.
hope you. Like, why?
I
really hope you
get 40 years. Hate that guy.
Like, he's coming off like he's gonna kill him or something.
Bro, it's the equivalent of like being like, James White, it's nice that you can bench 135. I hope you get 225 like I have. Like if I have. Yeah, it's like that's the equivalent.
Yeah, come
Like that's what it sounds like. It's like, what is that? Hope you get to 43 years of marriage.
Bro,
like
yeah,
I
he sounds
have.
like he's. I'm gonna have to keep one eye open tonight. And I'm just gonna see James White. As I'm falling asleep, he's just gonna appear out of the corner of my eye with a hatchet. He's the sleep paralysis demon.
With this
But
face.
he's definitely not envious or mad or anything.
No,
Isaiah.
he
Not
doesn't
at
even know
all.
RZ.
No,
He doesn't
no,
even know who you guys
no,
are.
no.
Who he is.
And he doesn't care either. Why are you platforming us?
Yeah, why?
I hope you have children. I hope you have grandchildren.
He's saying it like that.
And you're going to have challenges that I did not have in my life. I will have had more freedom in my life than Redeemed Zoomer will, or Isaiah Presley Lafone. I've
Yeah, bro, we're making
and the
America
young
proud.
men that I do mentor, and the young men that will tell you that I encourage them, and that I don't get in their way, and that I want to work with them.
Oh,
And give them opportunities. Do everything you said I don't do. I do. You just don't know it because I don't sit here and talk about everybody that I'm doing that with.
But then he's
Bro,
doing that
look
right
at
now.
that,
He's
though.
doing it right
Just
now.
did that. Yeah, wait a minute. That's not how that works.
I don't put young people down now, but except this one. Let me destroy this one right quick.
I don't talk about everything that I do, even though I help a lot of people, and I'm 43 years married, and I have a degree. I don't talk about any of that stuff that I have.
The way bro said, I hope you have children. I hope you have grandchildren. Like, that's so sinister, bro. What are you going to do? Steal his children? What the heck?
Maybe
Hold on,
James
ransom.
White's
Shut
in
down
the
your
Epstein
YouTube.
files.
You get your children
It's like
back.
the most. It's textbook examples of humble bragging. He's like, hey, I don't mean to brag, or like, I'm not trying to brag, but I've done this and this and this, and I'm saying it not to brag, but
Okay?
But I'm bragging.
So you were just wrong. You owe me an apology. Big time.
Okay.
And if you're mature, I'll hear from you.
Oh,
If you're not,
oh, I owe him an apology.
Well, this is
Oh.
you're hearing from Isaiah Lafone now.
All right. Here's my statement, my response to that.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and you know, if I'm a good Christian man, I'll just okay. I'm not sorry for anything that I'm just going to tell you this right now, because what you just did, Mr. White, if you're watching this, you are watching this. And I hope you respond to it on Dividing Line. I'm not sorry, because what you just did confirmed absolutely everything I said. You played right into my hand. I went, bro, I went 10 for 10. Bro, there were no swing, and everyone hit the ball out of the park. Okay, so I'm not going to apologize, because you just proceeded to do exactly what I said you did. Mock, demean, tell us to shut up, show envy. I have no reason to apologize. I don't owe you an apology. I don't owe you anything. Right? Because all you've done, you haven't debunked anything. You didn't give me a single quote like I asked. I asked for a single quote. You didn't give me any of that. What you have done this entire time is sat there on your goofy little couch in your jungle safari jacket and mocked and ridiculed and told me to be quiet. And then you had the gall to demand an apology from me, of which you will get none.
There it is.
I never will. But I do that.
You're right. You never.
Because I know that's what needs to happen. And I know you and Redeemed Zoomer are going to be facing far greater challenges than I ever did. And I want to have been one of the people that helped lay that foundation. You know, up until recently, that's what everybody was saying we were doing. But now all of a sudden, there's this young generation that has decided that everyone that came before them didn't have a clue what they were doing. That's dangerous.
Hold on. Pause. That's a completely disingenuous, false framing of what's happening. No, what's happening has been you and your people have come around and said, oh, these stupid little kids. Oh, what do they think they are? That's all you're doing. It's just mockery and demeaning. That's all you're doing. You say, oh, it's this young generation's. No, the problem's you. Look in the mirror, Mr. White. Look in the mirror. We have not changed our rhetoric at all. I have not changed my criticisms of you or your people or the people who float around in your circle ever. I have the same criticisms. I have the same statements about you and your people and the arrogance which you exude that I always have. I have not changed. You have. You have gotten mad because we're not going along with your nonsense. Okay? You have this young generation who's much higher, who their sacramentology is much higher. The theology is much better than yours, and much closer to the early church, and is much more historic than yours. And you don't like that. So instead of actually mentoring us and actually laying a foundation, by the way, James White has not really left a foundation for me to build off of. James White's foundation he's left is constantly embarrassing us in front of the Catholics. You see that Voice of Reason debate? Don't get smoked by Voice of Reason. By the way, a 20-something-year-old kid. Now, yeah, Voice of Reason is a pervert, and so, you know, we can throw that out the window. It doesn't matter. It didn't change the fact that James White has embarrassed us in front of multiple Catholic figures. Yeah, he's done good debating the reliability of the New Testament or debating Muslims. Actually, I don't really think he does that good debating Muslims because I don't think he understands Islam very well. But what has he left us? What has he left us? A fake doctorate with some works that are, I mean, with arguments that are okay, I guess, but not great in the academic, intellectual sphere. Constant embarrassment in front of Catholics, millions, or not millions, but tons of kids who would have stayed Protestant, but instead are going Catholic because of you. That's what you've left us. So don't sit up here and, you know, lord your experience and hold all that over me. It's ridiculous. What have you left us?
Which is in like the heart of crazy. It's in the heart of like James White answered it. He said, our life as young people is going to be way harder. But then don't criticize any of the older people that are giving you the harder life, which is that's what's happening. Obviously, we have to rethink strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
If what the older generation did, if what the older generation didn't work, Not saying that everything James White did led us to the current position, but yes,
It's all his fault.
we need a new generation that can think outside the box. We need a new generation that is thinking, how do we combat the things that are that we're going to face and struggle with? And maybe we shouldn't do everything that the old generation did that worked maybe at that present time, but then still had us at the trajectory where now we're worried about our future.
It didn't even work. It just got us to the point that we are now. The retreat from actual academic circles, the giving in to goofy little liberal ideas, the destruction or attempted destruction of historic Christian beliefs and evangelic fishing, all of it. And by evangelic fishing, I mean like the mega church, version of that smoke machine. No, what they didn't work at the time, and it's not going to work in the future. So that's why we're changing. They're mad because we're changing strategy, and okay, so be it. You can be mad at us all you want, but ain't I right?
That's dangerous because most of those people have never raised families. They're not churchmen. They've never married and buried. They've never counseled the broken.
Whoa! What married and buried, bro?
Any of that stuff.
Like, what do you mean by that, bro? What do you mean by that? You're married? Guys, we need to reach out to Mrs. White. Are you okay? This man's talking about marrying and burying, bro. Be careful, bro. This man might be a serial killer.
Instead, they're putting up pictures of themselves as historians and theologians before you've ever done any teaching at all.
Actually, I have done a lot.
My parents.
I've done a good bit of teaching on YouTube, and I've actually written a bunch of academic papers. How about you go talk to Dr. Nichols about it? In fact, Dr. White, if you, or Mr. White, sorry, you don't even deserve that. Mr. White, if you are listening to this, get in contact with Dr. Stephen J. Nichols, president of Reformation Bible College. I'm sure you can get in contact with him. Get in contact with him. And because he was my apologetics teacher last semester, that'd be fall 2024. So you need to get in contact with Dr. Nichols and ask him for my papers. In fact, get in contact with me and ask me for my papers. Ask Dr. Nichols what grade he gave me my papers. I don't, you talk about, oh, there's academic work. I've done academic work. I've written these academic papers. And guess what? I got really good grades on them. Okay. My apologetics class with the president of the institution in which I was studying was my best grade. And I'm saying all this to say, you say that I haven't done anything. I haven't taught anything. I haven't done any academic work. Saying to say I have, and it's been good. And by the way, it's not ChatGPT. It's my own stuff.
Warning me against that kind of stuff. And maybe yours haven't, but I'm telling you right now, you might want to rethink that kind of a perspective. You really might. You really might. So, anyways,
that's ominous. Yeah. Okay, John Wick.
Yeah, that's ominous.
All right.
Really might want to.
You might want to rethink that. By the way, that sleep paralysis demon you've been seeing, that was me. That was me, Ziggy. I'm in the corner of your room every night. I'm watching you while you sleep. And you haven't gotten married and buried yet? Get ready, bro. Get ready. I hope you have children. I'm just gonna leave that there. Sounds like a threat, bro.
Yep. I think we covered that. Pulling up the last X post that I saw James White make, and then we've covered the saga. We've done it, boys. We did it, Joe.
Said we did it, Joe.
Yeah, that's the Kamala Harris meme. All right.
Oh yeah, we did it. No, yes, we did it.
We did it, Joe. Yeah, we did it. I spoke about our discussion on the dividing line this evening.
Wait, where was this?
I found it.
It
was in response to you.
Oh, I have no enmity with you.
New lore drop.
This is news to me. So y'all are seeing my direct reaction to this. So I spoke about our discussion on dividing line this evening toward the end. Question: what does Boys 29 mean? The most natural reading is for you to graduate from Boys College in 2029, which would mean you'll be starting a freshman this fall. No, Mr. White. I graduated from Boyce in 1929, and I graduated from Southern Seminary in 1930. In fact, I graduated from Southern with my PhD in 1934. I've been around this whole time. I've been watching you. I've been waiting for my opportunity to strike, and now is the opportunity. So no, Dr. White, I've been around for over 100 years. You just didn't know it.
So you
Heard it
gotta,
from the horse's
as
mouth.
soon as you can, you gotta respond to that question. He's waiting. He needs to know what Boyce 29 means.
He needs to know, bro.
He needs to know.
He can't
Yeah.
figure it out.
He can't figure it out. He needs to know. And with that, we have covered the saga and all the relevant links.
The saga.
Isaiah, how do you feel? Do you feel like we have to shut up now? Us young folk?
I will be deleting my channel as soon as we get done with this. Yeah, most certainly. No, I think
There's
my
a book
point
of
was
Proverbs
proven.
that says, "Shut up, shut up, young people."
Stop making
Proverbs
YouTube channels.
1:1. If you're under 65, you need to shut up.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I feel fine. Look, like I said, my point was proven. The arrogance of this man which continues to shine through even to his older age. You talk about getting wiser when you get older. This man has not learned how to not be arrogant. So his arrogance continues to shine through, and I don't take back anything I said.
Well, that's good. Hey, I've got one more segment for the Obro show, but
Mhm.
it's also not too relevant for you, Isaiah. So I forgot to tell you this, but you're free to stay, or you're free to head on out, say your goodbyes, because I'm going to be addressing how Cleave to Antiquity blocked me, and I'm going to be issuing a formal. I'm going to be issuing a formal debate challenge to Cleave to Antiquity over this, because I think the block was ridiculous on its face, and also hilarious given the context of the situation. So Cleave to Antiquity, many of you who are watching this would know him. He is a really good Protestant apologist and debater who has made multiple appearances on
Pope.
Gavin Ortland's channel. Yep. And has debated people like Jay Dyer, made appearances on Redeem Zoomer's channel as well. So I'm a big fan of Cleave's work, and I've interacted with some of his ex-posts before, seen several of his videos and debates. Brings us to July 2022. Well, really, the context for this, I'll pull it up just so we can see it and get on the same page. The context for this is Jubilee, which is a media company / YouTube channel that does the Jubilee surrounded stuff. So you've seen that with 20 atheists surrounding Jordan Peterson. You've seen that with 20 liberals surrounding Ben Shapiro. Well, recently Mehdi Hassan, who is a left-wing commentator, was surrounded by 20 conservatives, one of them being this fella, Catholic commentator Pine Sap. And one of the fallouts from this was that Pine Sap lost his job. He got fired due to his comments on this show. That brought us to Cleave to Antiquity's post here, which is I'll get into, but I want to lay the groundwork for what Pine Sap said during this Jubilee surrounded, or at least what he was doing in the surrounded video against Mehdi Hassan. He doesn't believe in democracy. He openly refers to himself as a fascist. He would rather be governed by a king. He cites a Nazi scholar. He wouldn't outright condemn the Nazi persecution of the Jews. And he's also directly in support of abolishing the First Amendment. Okay, so this is the context for the short clip with Pine Sap. This is what he debates. I encourage you all to go to this video on Jubilee Surrounded and see what he defends. That is exactly what he defends. So that's the context for what Cleave is addressing here in this quote tweet. So Cleave says, I don't particularly care for Pine Sap's position. We're in agreement there. But it's so tiring that companies fire you for wrong speak. If we were going to have freedom of speech and your position isn't the public representative of a company, etc., it's obnoxious that they would fire him for having fringe takes. I think that this post is incredibly silly. and incredibly naive. And so I responded to it. I said, it is within the company's free speech / association rights to fire an employee for what they deem as harmful rhetoric. To assume otherwise creates an incredibly dangerous precedent in law for Christian companies. Freedom of speech is a right that guarantees no government infringement on your freedom of speech. Okay? A lot of people don't understand that. Freedom of speech, the First Amendment, guarantees that the government cannot infringe your right to speak. Okay? It does not mean a private company cannot fire you for opinions that would hurt their brand and hurt their own appearance to the public. They have that right because that's their freedom of association. That's their freedom of speech. And I want to implore every Christian to think about this that's watching this. We need to defend this with our lives, okay? Because if we do not have this right as Christian ministries, as churches, as companies, okay, as soon as we fire someone who does no longer espouse Christian values, as long as we fire someone who is openly living a sinful lifestyle and we cite that this violates our biblical beliefs, if we take Cleaves to Antiquity's approach here, which is that it's annoying and it's anti-speech, we can't do that anymore. We're going to get sued to oblivion. So that's why the First Amendment matters, okay? It defends us as Christians. It defends us as Christians business owners. It defends us as pastors, all the like, okay? So I don't like this this position that he's having that is insinuating that we should be defending Pine Sap. The company that fired Pine Sap has the right to fire Pine Sap for openly espousing fascistic ideas, for openly espousing not propaganda. Of course they have they have the right, and they should have the right to do that. That's actually the pro First Amendment position. That's actually the pro free speech position, not whatever Cleave to Antiquity was insinuating. It is not obnoxious for people like Pine Sap, who is a deplorable human being, Cleave would agree, gets fired. That's not a bad thing. We should be supporting that. All right, so Cleave then says, I'm aware of the law. I'm saying it's annoying. So his response is quick. I'm aware of the law, but I'm just saying it's annoying. I then said, you're naive of the implications of espousing the inverse, which is 1000% true. And he is. He's promoting the inverse. He's promoting that someone like Pine Sap shouldn't be fired for his deplorable views. And I got insta-blocked. From this, from Cleave to Antiquity.
Bro, he got insta-blocked by the Protestant Pope.
Which is hilariously ironic because Cleave to Antiquity is claiming that he is angry at he says it's obnoxious, right? That we are anti being free speech with Pine Sap losing his job, and then he insta-blocks someone that wants to debate him about the subject. It's kind of funny. He's not very pro free speech there. He doesn't want to hear my opinion. So all that to say, I know I'm ranting, but I am passionate about this here because I think Cleave is incredibly wrong here. And the Insta ban was like wild to me. Cleave to Antiquity, this is an open debate invitation. You can come on our show. We're also happy to come on your show. Okay. And it doesn't have to be we, because I know it was you and I going back and forth on the X post. Your position here in defending Pine Sap is the anti-free speech. It's the anti-First Amendment position, and it harms Christians down the line. And so I will defend Pine Sap being fired because I would defend the company's right to not have their company brand harmed by terrible, deplorable ideas. Okay. So yeah, that's the shout out. And if you want to chat, let's do it sometime. Let's schedule it and hash it out. All right. And then you can't ban me, which wasn't very pro free speech and cash money. Yeah. Come on, Cleve.
Hey, I'll moderate that debate. I'd love to moderate that debate.
Hey, let's go. Isaiah will moderate. So that's the debate call out.
As long as you don't cuss him out and flip him off.
If the bar is at the floor with the Catholic debaters, I will not cuss you out. I will not flip you off, Cleve. Promise.
Wait, what happened last time? Did somebody do that to him?
Yeah, Cleve's been debated. Cleve debated.
Oh, pull up the screenshot.
What? I don't even have the screenshot. Do you have one, Isaiah? The screenshot's hilarious.
This guy doesn't know. JK Pro Luigi says RBC isn't accredited. Yeah, I know, Cannoli. I know RBC isn't accredited. Thank you very much. Go back. I can't pull it up. Cannoli, go back to your Scholastic Dungeon, please. Thank you. All righty.
I can't pull it up because Cleve blocked me.
All right, let me see if I can find it, bro.
That's
Give me a minute, bro. I gotta find it. All right. X. I gotta go on X so I can find this thing. Hold up.
Everyone who's watching
let
this,
me-
spam Cleve. Everyone who's watching this, here's my call to action: spam Cleve to Antiquity to debate the Obro show. Hey, listen, I said it. Hey, I'm declaring online warfare in Minecraft, and I'm saying this now to say that it's completely unfair, which is why we don't wage direct warfare. Okay, we wage guerrilla warfare, which means we have to play not by the rules. Okay, we're very small. Let's get us to 100 subscribers. We're going to wage guerrilla warfare in Minecraft against Cleve to Antiquity. So he debates us on the subject.
Dude, this is so real, bro. This is so true. All right, I found the screenshot. Hold on a minute. Let me
Perfect.
pull it up. There you go. Took me a minute to find it. If I can download it, okay. There you go. All right, thank you. Save.
There's some Catholic guy.
Alrighty.
Yeah, this guy said you got to watch these debates. They're so funny. The Catholic guy literally, he like
Crashed out.
bro, like in
Here we go.
2+ debates,
Here's the
he like gets
screenshot,
a
bro.
demon manifesting. This is what happens. Only this time,
This was
only this
beautiful.
time, I'm gonna be this guy, and Cleve's gonna be the guy who's get ticked off. Okay, call my shot now.
Now that's a very bold claim because Cleve is very calm and cool and steady. So
He is. No, yeah, he is.
hey, let's see.
Unless he's debating Indiana Brunner.
Get out of here with Indiana. Let me say this about Indiana. The reason that the video I did with him got taken down. There's a reason for that. And we're just gonna leave it there. Hey, there's a question for me in the chat. I don't know if you want to pull that one up right quick.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's which one is it? This one?
Yeah, that one. Okay, let's see. Isaiah Presley, live on how you respond to the allegations you've been healing people with stage 4 cancer. Bro, I've just look, man. I've just been doing the Lord's work. You know, those who are sick need the doctor. So that's all the doing, man. I am sorry that I have been helping a denomination that is very sick. I apologize. I should be just, running away from it and being a coward, right? Oh, goodness.
Let them cancer patients die. All
Let
right,
them die,
that's all
let
I
them
got.
die.
So this is the second edition of the Obro Show featuring Isaiah Presley Lafon. And we're really appreciative
Lafon,
for you to
Monsieur
come on
Lafon.
and chat with us. Monsieur Lafon.
Of course.
So I want to say, first of all, go subscribe to Isaiah if you haven't already. I'm sure many of you are coming from his channel, so that's not a problem. But if you're by chance not, go do that for sure. Follow his stuff. He is doing great apologetics work, church history work. So follow his stuff, give it a like, all that stuff. Over here on the Obro Show, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. I like to refer to you guys as early adopters, early investors, really. You're like our board of directors. If you're the first 100 subscribers, okay, you're the board of directors. I will do
early. We're gonna go to the moon.
Yeah, I will do everything that you guys say if you're the first 100 subscribers. So get in now. Yeah. Because if you're outside of the first 100, okay, we might not follow. But get your opportunity to subscribe right now. We're going to get to 100. And then we have many other
It's
conversations.
on discount. It's half off.
Yeah, it's half off. Half off subscription right now. And it's half off free.
Half off free.
So, yep, that's it. Thank you, Isaiah. Love you, everyone, for watching.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you all later. Take care.
Alhamdulillah.